Hey y'all, I'm back and I'm in my new office because I bought a house. What? It's been a long time coming for me to make another video, but honestly, I can't find all of the screws to my ring light, so I'm just doing it like low key. Actually, so low key, I didn't even I just got inspired watching a Jackie Aina video to come on here and be myself, and here I am as myself. Actually, I was like practicing, but I think that this is just gonna be a video. So I bought a house, and no, I don't have a job still, but my husband does. So we bought a house, and I have good credit, so and he has good credit. He probably could have done better without my credit, but at a certain point, better credit doesn't do much for you. So I think that's where we are. Okay, so I bought a house and it's been, in a word, exquisite. Actually, I wouldn't describe it as exquisite. It's been a bit of a process because the first week was like, I felt like physically I was still at the old house. And by that, I mean, I still had stress that I carried in my body from being where I used to live. So I used to live in the city and I used to live in a busy residential area. Um, and I had on street parking with steps leading up to the front door, which I hate. I've always hated. And no space, toxic landlord who moved next door in the summer. Just like overall struggle, like mold in the basement. I made a video when I first moved in and I was like, I'm gonna work really hard so we can move out. But that didn't happen because the environment just brought me down. I felt in about July, I felt like I'd hit rock bottom in my adult life. Like that was the lowest I ever felt. Not because I was like literally living in a slum, but it kind of put me in a slum mentality because I think technically my landlord was a slum lord. And I just felt very powerless. Did we put the trash out? Oh, I don't think we put the trash out. Aw, they did. He's so good. Well, now that I'm up, so let's see if I can give a better image. Like a noob, I'm a front-facing camera, which is not the best quality. But like I said, this was impromptu. Anyway, still got boxes I'm not working very hard to unload. But I felt very powerless. I felt very much like you got yourself here and there's nothing you can do about it and you're just here, right? So it took me some time to understand that it just took me some time to get myself together. Then we had the mouse infestation last summer, which on top of my already like degraded self-esteem and sense of self-efficacy, it created a lot of stress in my environment and a lot of distraction because I'm like trying to figure out how to get rid of mice, trying to keep my child from eating things off the floor, who was like 18 months at the time, trying to figure out what my rights were, and I really didn't have rights because we hadn't lived there for 6 months. Just feeling angry. So what happened was we had mice in May. It took me a while to realize that the little black pieces of rice I was seeing were actually not rice, but I thought it was like from this black rice quinoa thing. But it took me a while before I realized that that was mouse poop. And then on June 9th, I think, or June 5th, I put in a work order for the mice. And on the 22nd, my realtor inquired, and the property management company called the owner who said he would deal with it when he came, which was supposed to be July 20th. So he wanted me to wait 2 months to do anything and wasn't going to tell me that. So I got his number and called him that weekend, and he answered because he didn't have my number. He had only been speaking to my husband, and apparently he didn't answer the neighbors at that time either. And then he explained all these things that made it so that there was nothing really that could be done until he got there. So he lived in Houston. He was like, well, it could be these spaces, but like you guys can't get in there till I get there because I'm the only one with the key. So he also said that having an exterminator come was pointless because they don't actually do anything, blah, blah. But he did have somebody come out from the property management company, and they just put like traps and stuff down, poison. So not really anything. And then when he came, all he did was drop off poison and put bait boxes outside, which killed squirrels. So I was really angry because I'm like, I could have put poison out 6 weeks ago. And after some time, he was there for over 2 weeks and never met us, but he was like staying in an apartment over our home. So there was like a duplex and then an upstairs apartment, and he avoided meeting us. So we're having these conversations over text. So I finally was like, and this is me texting as my husband, I finally asked him I was like, okay, so we've done this, like, what are we gonna do next? We still have mice. And he got angry and said we were just making excuses because we wish we moved somewhere else in the metropolitan St. Louis area, and blah, blah, blah. And then I clapped back. Then he called my husband and, tried to backpedal. Now I understand that when he said that the exterminators don't do anything, it's because he makes everything someone else's fault and just like does whatever he can to alleviate responsibility, which is what he did that time. But my husband's solution was to have maintenance come and move the appliances because that's where the mice were running to. So he did that, and there was a hole behind the stove and a hole behind the washing the dishwasher. So then we didn't have mice. Anyway, so that was a rough time for me. And it was just rough living there. Like I said, mold in the basement, just stuff terrible. And so when I moved here, it took time for me to not like have that same mindset and have that same like demeanor. But now that I have, it's been great. Now that I have transitioned out of that and transitioned out of expecting things to be in disarray because that's how they have been, I'm doing better. I'm feeling better. I really want to be the person that I want to be, and I feel like this place will enable me to do that. One thing about me is I really love to have people over and entertain, and that's something that I haven't been able to do for over a year and a half because I wasn't proud of my environment. I didn't feel like no popsicle. I didn't feel like my environment was like comfortable to have guests in. But now we got... Okay, you can have a popsicle. I said you can have one after you ate. You can have a popsicle. You can have a popsicle. Okay. But this place has so much space. We got a living room, a family room. I've got a sunroom, which I'm going to just get so bougie in there that when I get to host a holiday. And we got a guest room. We have 4 bedrooms. This is the 4th one, which is made into an office, but an air mattress fits in here nicely. So I think I'm going to be able to do some of the stuff that's important to me and be able to modify the house to express who I am. And there's not going to be things I'm embarrassed about, like the state of the tile in the bathroom or the fact that the mirror thing is peeling or how ugly something's painted or the mold. Like there was so much for me to not want to welcome people into. And now I'll be able to do that. And I hope that if I can find the rest of the screws for this ring light, I will also be able to like set up a studio basically. So it'll be easier for me to film because one of my issues was having to like make sure the house was clean or my space was clean, and like taking the light from downstairs or the tripod and finding a place and all that. And by the time I would do that, sometimes my son would be awake and I wouldn't be able to get the video done. And my hair is straight now. I mean, it's still not like how I want it all the time, but it's so much, I have so much more control than I did before. So I really think that this is the time that I'm going to move forward. So I'm feeling really good. I think it's going to be really great for my brand. I think it just, I'm here, right? I've just spent so much energy wanting to be somewhere else, and I'm finally in that next place, and I just think this is the playground. This is where the seeds will be reaped, or will they be sowed? No, I think I've been sowing seeds all the time, and now it's time to bring the crops to maturation and reap the yield. It's like I've been growing, but now it's like time to see vegetation, basically. So that's my update. I have more to say about buying a house. I didn't think we would be able to buy a house, especially not one like this, until, you know, I got my business and stuff together, which is what this channel is about. And that's what I was waiting for when we were living at the other place. I was like, when I have my business and I've got like an income that, like, I wanted to increase our income so we could buy a better place, then we'll try to buy. Other than that, we're just gonna try to thug it out in this terrible ass duplex until then. But we got pushed out because the landlord got, he tried to raise the rent like with 2 weeks notice because I found 2 gas leaks, and he was angry about that. So I was like, there's no way I'm paying him more rent. Like, I will live in a U-Haul before I do that. And then we looked and we were already able to get something better. So it really taught me that there's so many limitations I think I have that might not actually be real. It might just be like in my head or in theory, but it might not actually be real. Another one that I can identify from earlier in my life is when I first gained weight, really for the first time, that I was having trouble getting off. And this was actually after I did a figure competition. And I think that was a mistake in my life. But I thought, well, I'm older now. I'm just not gonna be able to lose weight like I used to. My metabolism changed. But it wasn't that, because after that, like the next year, I lost 20 pounds. Y'all couldn't tell me nothing at all. I didn't wear a full shirt that entire summer. But I had thought that, well, because I'm this age, I don't have a control over my body like I used to. And I could say that now. I could say, well, I've had a baby. I'm 32. But I know it's just a matter of priorities. So I'm not going to let that limitation exist. But I know that's a limitation I've heard from a lot of people. But anyway, I'm going to get off here. This is my little boy. And I'm looking forward to our future together on this channel, Brianna Entrepreneur, which might change to something else because there's so many facets of my life I'm working on right now. Mom. Okay, Brooke, say bye. No. Okay, bye. Bye, bye.